So, you just got off a very hard day of work, or perhaps mommy and daddy decided to let you open up your piggy bank with that little comically large hammer, and decided that you can take some schmeckles out of it. And within your boredom, you search the internet for some games for you to play, because, well, you're bored. And whether you did this to yourself or because your friend suggested it, you decided to get For Honor. One of the most rage-inducing games I've ever met in my entire lifetime. And if you're not bothered to sit through the tutorial to find out how to play the game, and you just did it by brain rot automation, well, you came to the right place, because we're gonna be going over whatever the tutorial should have taught you. Well, now that we have that over with, play as me as much as you want, because we're gonna get straight into it.
Hey, yo, my life's like a movie, my eyes are like a Uzi, jacuzzi. Get the fuck out of the way!
Let's get over your essentials. Above your character are 2 bars. One bar, which is the blocky one, is your health bar, whilst the green bar is your stamina bar. Using those beautiful gummy treats that got implanted into our eye sockets, you can see that if I'm throwing an attack, my stamina bar goes down. Well, I'll show you. Out of stamina. Here, your stamina bar will slowly regen. You might get scared of this monochrome layout, distorted audio, and as well as the sound of your character heavily breathing in your ear. Don't worry, don't shit yourself. Because you still have the ability to block, dodge, and even parry, shown by the evidence right in front of you. Just a heads up, if you do actually get out of stamina in a fight, and you decide to pull the special Joestar move and do a 180 and turn away, to be simple, they're not gonna let you run away. You're gonna get caught in an infinite chain where you can't roll or run, and then you're gonna complain like a bitch when you didn't stand there and just block. Brutal. Another note, your attacks are also a lot slower when you're out of stamina. Big shocker. It's no surprise that whenever your HP bar gets to below 0, you die. However, there are ways to recover your health. And that is by standing on objective points in Dominion, or that can be getting executions. Assuming that you have accidentally skipped the tutorial somehow and mashed every button on your keyboard or controller, you may have realized pressing Ctrl or holding Alt will send you into your guard stance. And you can also guard left, right, and top, shown in front of you. To successfully block an attack, you can see that your enemy opponent will throw a red flash in the direction of their guard. Simply match your guard with theirs, and you'll block the attack. It's as simple as that. Here's another demonstration if you didn't see that last one. If you remember what I said about guarding in 3 different directions, left, right, and top, some other characters have the option to guard backwards, which will initiate a special guard stance. They all have their respective purpose, but for the sake of this video, I won't be explaining it in this one.
I can't control where the city fucking puts it, it's trash! Oh, how about that?
Press RB or left mouse button to light, or if you want to do a heavy, press RT or right mouse button to throw a heavy. It's just that simple. Lights are obviously faster but weaker, but heavies are slower but deal more damage. But you already knew. It should be known that in every combo fighting game, every character has a moveset. By going into the menu and going into the match settings, you can find your moveset. And in case you do live underneath a rock like Patrick Starfish, your moveset will tell you everything about your character. It also tells you all of the combos and all of the neat tricks you can do on the side. Displayed on the side are some of your combos for Warden. You can see that you can go from light into heavy, heavy into heavy, or double light into heavy. This is important to know your basic combos, and also because you can't actually chain your heavy into a light. With Warden at least. Judging that the enemy does have a brain cell, you can see that they can actually block your light attack. Right here, which will stop you from doing your basic combo. By the way, whilst running, you can press light or heavy to initiate a sprint attack. Warden has a pretty comic gimmick, which basically most heroes have. If you notice, all of his combos end with a heavy. And judging by what you're seeing on the screen, your last heavy is orange. Warden also has a gimmick where pressing 2 lights in rapid succession in either left or right side will perform a double light. Dodging is a pretty simple mechanic you can get down pretty easily. You can press A or press space on your keyboard whilst moving in a direction with your joystick or using WASD to perform a dodge in that direction. That doesn't mean just spam dodging though, because if you notice right here, dodging a little bit too early or dodging a little bit too late will perform you getting hit. It's common knowledge that lights are faster and heavies are slower, meaning that if you want to dodge a light, you're going to have to try and guess it, and if you want to try and dodge a heavy, you can probably react to it. Pressing X on your controller or pressing Q on the keyboard will initiate a guard break, meaning that you can break through anyone's guard if they decide to keep on blocking for too long. It's the perfect counter for all guards. After landing a guard break, press the button again along with movement key to send them in a direction. You can send them left, right, backwards, or forwards. Instead of pressing the guard break input again to push them, you can press a heavy to guarantee an attack, as every character can get a heavy in at least one direction. For example, Warden can get a heavy from either the left or the right side, shown here, but he can't get a guard break from a top heavy because his top heavy is slower than his left and rights. You can also get counter guard breaked, which means it's a no you. You can't just openly press guard break unless you catch them off guard, which is in the middle of a dodge or at the start of a parry. By pressing X immediately, or your guard break button, they can push you backwards. One small step for an experienced player, and one giant step for a newbie. Learning to parry is probably the best thing you can do in this game. Not only that, but it also feels rewarding. Watch now, Borneus. See how when they throw the red flash attack, you can see it actually flash. Think of this flash like a parry window. That's the amount of time you have to press heavy. And pressing heavy during it initiates a parry, leaving them hit stunned for a certain amount of time. If you can land a light parry, you may have pressed heavy at a random time and you managed to get a light parry, like this. Well, you'll know the difference between a normal parry and a light parry because the light parry flashes you a lot brighter. Not only that, but light parries also leave the enemy hit stunned for longer, meaning that instead of the regular light attack, you can land a heavy. A true guard break is where you can't counter guard break because you're in the middle of doing an action. For example, however, if you're doing an action heavy or getting caught in the middle of a dodge, for example, dodging, you can't immediately counter guard break. If you are able to counter guard break, why? Because then this game would be broken, and you can just guard break for everything. It's the same thing when dodging and throwing random heavies. And so that marks the end of this guide. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, if you're a returning player, or perhaps a new player that somehow skips the tutorial, hopefully you now know what to do. Obviously, this guide was kind of low effort and shitty to be honest, so I won't be surprised if this went through one head and into the other. But at least you can go back on this video and check again. Don't worry about fainting, we'll go over that in the next guide.